is not how confident you think that you are, because self-image has nothing to do with how good you feel about yourself. You can feel very good about yourself doing nothing, because no one's ever told you, hey, you really should be doing something, right? And as I said before, if you don't come up with your own self-image, you will absorb the image someone else has for you. Or you will copy somebody else's self-image, and it's not really who you are, and you're never going to win that way either. So this guy, again, he's working on it. And as I was saying before, this for me took a long time to develop. But that's the intangible part of the training. See, I heard something the other day that was really, really good. And it said it's not about the training in so much as it is about the will. You could do a lot of training, but if you have no will to make something happen, then all the training in the world means nothing. A good example is, I was talking to your guy, right? And I was sharing with him, his challenges. And I said, hey man, you got to recognize. He said, I got 20, 25 people to show up to training, but nobody's doing anything. I said, so you don't have a training problem. You got a will problem. You got people that show up for training, but they're not doing anything with the training. So it's not lack of resources, because he was starting to beat himself up. I said, listen, it's not part of the resources you provide. It's not part of the environment. It's not part of you as a leader, right? If you believe you're doing all you can, and I told him, for the short time that I know him, I believe that he's a quality guy. I said, so it has nothing to do with you. You got 20, 25 people that are showing up for training who know everything that they need to know to win, but they're not doing it. They're not executing that information. It has nothing to do with the training. It has everything to do with their will. How bad do they really want it to work? How bad do they want to succeed? What sacrifice are they willing to make? He said, they don't bring people to the meeting. I said, that's a will problem. That's not a training problem. If somebody, they say the old saying, the will to win, or if the will is big enough, or all sorts of those cliches, it's absolutely true. After a while, if you go through enough training and you know what you need to do, and you still don't, it's not training anymore. It's just personal will. Personal will. And that's the problem that comes back also to this. Your self-image becomes an anchor to everything. To the way you think, to what you do. So I want you to jot this down. And just take a minute to work on this. Self-image is broken up into different components. First you have personal self-image. Then you have business. Since you're in business, right? Self-image. And then you have a social, financial. Personal could be like family, stuff like that. And by the way, you can add anything else you want. I want more. Accomplishments. So if I were to say, hey, what's your self-image? What do you see yourself? And not only as of right now, but what do you see yourself as becoming? What is that person that is 20, 35, 10 years from now? Whatever. They have to exist in your mind first before they're ever going to exist in the reality. So, mind over matter, it's true. Self-image starts in the mind. And it manifests in the matter. Listen to me, if there's a will. If there's a will, a strong desire for that to happen. I can't tell you, I have a strong desire for my personal image to manifest itself, to come to reality. By the way, self-image could also be health too. Health. You could have all of this and be sick and be sickly and fat because you believe that, hey, everyone in my family is fat and heavy and out of shape, so it's okay. That's your self-image. Everyone is broke in my family, so, you know, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in people that didn't have any education, so it's okay for me to be here. That's a self-image. And if you have that as a self-image, you're going to live your life that way. Most people that don't push hard to succeed, it's not because they don't think it's possible. They just don't think it's possible for them. They know success is possible. Clearly, they're not oblivious to it. But they don't believe success is possible for them. Why is it then in our particular business, it's clear if you go on the website, it's clear if you go on YouTube, you have countless of examples of people that are successful in the same company, in the same system, in the same community, the same products and services. So it's possible that someone could join here and become successful. But why is it that the person that looks at those videos and looks at those training and admires those people, they don't question that success is possible? Why is it that they don't do the very same things that they know they need to do, which is what they do to become successful, is because they don't think it's possible for them. And that has to do with self-image. They don't believe that success is part of who they are, financial successes, maybe their environment, where they grew up, where they live, their friends around them, all sorts of stuff. Listen, I used to say years and years and years ago that you become who you surround yourself with. I tell my kids that now too. You become who you surround yourself with. I can tell you who you are by showing me your friends. I can tell you who you are by showing me your friends, or the people you hang out with. Look at your friends, look at your future. Look at your colleagues, look at your future. If you're surrounded by people that don't want more out of life, you're probably going to follow that track. If you surround yourself with people that are striving and hungry and want to do something special, well then that's what's going to motivate your life to go in that direction. That's why these trainings, guys, these trainings are very important. Because if it may be the only time in the course of an entire week that you get yourself in a cocoon where you're going to hear this kind of stuff. And if you take an hour of this and try to compare it with the rest of the 99.9% time that you're out in the real world, and not the real world, the world, giving you the exact opposite of this 1 hour, it's not going to be able to compete with all the rest of the stuff you're going to hear throughout the rest of the week. It's impossible.
So what's the solution?
So I was telling Frank yesterday. Frank says to me, we were talking about yesterday? I think it was yesterday, a couple days ago. He says that's why people go to church. That's why church going on a regular basis is so important. Pastors talk about it. Everybody knows that. You go to the synagogue, go wherever you go. You have to be in tune spiritually consistently. Why? Because it's easy to get off track. That's why it's important. Right? So, you want to develop a self-image that deals with your personal self-image, your business self-image, social, financial accomplishments, and so on and so forth. That's up to you and how you want and what you want out of your own life. I'm working on that right now with my kids. Work on that self-image. All right, it's the rudder to the rest of your life.